What is up, guys? I'm back in the garage finally, and I missed taking things apart. I missed holding one of these in my hand, and today we are continuing with the Kawasaki Retro Rebuild. Retro with the Kawasaki Retro Rebuild, yeah. No? With the Kawasaki Retro Kawasaki Restoration. Yeah, that was it. That's what I call this whole series thing, and I know nobody cares. So yeah, what are we doing? We are continuing where we left off last time, and we left off by removing the engine from the bike, having it out, and I want to figure out why this engine will turn over. It cannot make one full revolution, and that is bad. So the first step towards that is I want to remove the valve cover and see what's actually happening, and to see whether my timing marks align, whether my timing is in order. If that's in order, I'm probably going to be removing the cylinder head to see if maybe something's wrong with the valves. Maybe I have a burnt valve, or something's wrong with the piston, something seized, I don't know, who knows. We're going to find out. It's going to be exciting. And while I remove this valve cover, I'm not going to do some sort of time-lapse thing. I want to ask you something. You might have noticed that my motorcycle videos, I have just 2 of them so far, but even those 2 ones are by far my least popular videos on my channel. They got an incredibly low number of views, and I want to ask you guys for an opinion. I'm wondering, why is that? So when I got these super low views on these videos, I started thinking about, you know, the car guys I know, and I realized that of all of the car guys I know, for years, none of them actually liked motorcycles. And my channel is, you know, probably car guys, DIY enthusiasts. That's who's on this channel. That's this community. And then I realized that car people and bike people are 2 very separate tribes for some reason. And it's kind of weird, because I'm a car guy, I started with cars, but I always admired and liked motorcycles. So I thought, you know, I want to try this out, but all the car guys I know, they don't like motorcycles. They think it's dangerous, you're gonna die, it's stupid, and this and that. And why are we separated? I mean, it's weird. And bike guys, they don't really like cars that much. They have their daily drivers and whatnot, but they're into bikes, you know, they think bikes are better. And there's this divide, and I have no idea why it's there, because I like everything that moves, that makes fun sounds, and that can take you to anywhere you want to go, provided you put gas in it. I mean, I like old machines. I could work in a tractor. I could rebuild a tractor engine. It would be fun for me, because, you know, it moves. So yeah, what's your opinion on that? What do you think separates car guys and bike guys, and why? And what does that mean for my bike content? I'm of course going to keep doing it, because I'm doing this, you know, for myself as well, not just for the views. I'm doing it to have fun and to show people who like this bike and bikes in general a process of rebuilding a bike and having some fun along the way. Let me get some more tools. This is not moving. Okay, we're gonna try with these 3, a random assortment of tools, although I don't think I should have brought this, but we'll see. Let's give it a good tap. Okay, that was really easy. Wow, sexy stuff. Let's all cat it together. So far, so good. I really don't see anything concerning here. Looks way cleaner than I expected. There's a lot of rust in this particular, I don't know if you can see that, and this particular spark plug hole. And that's because of the shape of the valve cover, how it's water coming here when the bike is standing. But we will fix that somehow. It doesn't look too bad, honestly. I'm gonna remove the spark plugs too to see what's going on. Some really nice thick camshafts here. Okay, I am noticing some pretty strange wear right here. So I actually can't rotate the engine enough to be able to see whether the timing marks align. As you can see here in the factory service manual, this is how they're supposed to align. And here are the marks on both of the cam gears, as well as down here, and I can't actually get this part down here to align with this little mark here, which means I have no idea to see. I have no way of seeing whether everything aligns, but the engine will not rotate. Okay, I think it's all starting to smell like me removing the cylinder head. So I just removed the chain tensioner and the chain is now loose, so I'm gonna remove the chain, I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna remove the head and actually see what the hell is going on here. There we go. And now, the moment of truth. It's not good. So here's how standing still can kill an engine. Just look at the amount of rust, and the only reason the engine won't turn over is that the piston reaches this layer of incredible, horrible rust and won't move any further. Let me demonstrate that for you real quick. Okay, so it goes and it gets to the rust, and this is where it all ends. It won't reach top dead center. The situation isn't much better when it comes to the valves. Horrible. This is cylinder number 1, and cylinder 2, 3, and 4 are totally normal. Just like in the block, cylinder 4, 3, 2 look totally normal. The culprit to this is actually, as I mentioned briefly, the shape of the valve cover. Now, this was one of the first engines, I think it may be even the first one, to have the chain right here. So at the very end of the engine right there, instead of the middle, like many engines before and after actually. And when the bike leans on its side, all of the water gathers right here. So right here, it makes a little pool of water here, and it can't drip out of the valve cover because of this wall. So it pulls, and then eventually drips down into the spark plug hole, and then from there into the cylinder and the combustion chamber. Right there through the spark plug hole, it fills everything up with water, and everything basically goes to hell. The same problem is further evidenced right here in the fact that the number 1 spark plug hole is rusty, number 2 is okay, 3 okay, 4 okay. In fact, the whole cylinder head looks pretty much brand new. Somebody changed the oil apparently regularly. Everything looks nice. The cam caps, no signs of weirdness. Even the bolts look pretty good. This one looks like it overheated a bit, but nothing too weird, nothing too strange. So what killed this engine basically and prevented it from turning over is standing still, water, and the valve cover design. So that's kind of sad. And now I have to decide what to do with it. And I'm glad I didn't try to start this bike, because it would have gone to hell. It would have been a million times worse if I attempted to start this. So there we have it. I honestly expected something like this. I knew it wasn't good. An engine that won't turn over is rarely good. So here we have the situation we're facing. What am I going to do? Right now that I'm thinking of just replacing the sleeves. I have a really good machine shop that I trust. I can replace the sleeves, replace the piston rings, and basically have, fix this issue. Maybe even try to do something to the valves, although I do not think that these are beyond repair. Just basically machining the seats and the valves, and they should be good. So this could save this engine. Is it worth it? The big problem that I'm facing is finding piston rings for this engine. This is an ancient, super rare engine that was produced in very small numbers. So piston rings for this, even for the 900R, might be hard to find. Finding them for the 750R is going to be an absolute nightmare. If you have some ideas somewhere where you think I could find these, that's something that isn't obvious, please let me know. I would really appreciate that, because I'm gonna snatch them up right away if they're available somewhere. If not, then I'm gonna have to figure something out. I was also thinking of replacing this engine, just swapping something that's readily available, a more modern engine, although I really don't want to do that. These old engines are cool, they have a really unique, really cool sound, and they fit the character of these old 80s machines. So putting something from the 2000s into this bike I think is really gonna kill it, and it isn't what it is, what it's supposed to be. But if you got ideas, some ideas on that too, let me know. I could also hunt for, 900R pistons. They might be easier to find, and then use appropriate sleeves for that. But the stroke of the 900R and this thing is different, so I might get bigger bore and the pistons might fit. I will have to do a lot of research into the parts of this bike. Anything is really helpful. Let me know. I appreciate any sort of info. I'm really not informed too much on this bike. I'm not stressing myself. I'm doing this whole rebuild in a very slow, relaxed pace. I do what I can, what I can't I research, so I'm not super informed on this thing like I was on the 4AGE. I read like a bunch of books and the whole factory service manual, before I started doing anything. Here I didn't read anything. I just dove straight into it because I wanted to have fun. Reassembling, disassembling, forensicating things. And I am having fun, and I'm kind of happy. We have a big issue here that we will have to fix, and if I do manage to fix it successfully, it's going to be really cool, and it's going to be basically saving something that was written off, by everybody. So yeah, we'll see what happens. This is going to be pretty much it for today. Looking forward to your comments and opinions. I hope this thing starts picking up a bit of views, because really making videos, without hanging out with you guys in the comments isn't that fun. So you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now. If you watch this, if anybody watched this, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon with more stuff on this. I am keeping this running, and I will get this project finished. I do not start things without finishing them, and this will be finished, and this bike will be on the road. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon with more fun and awesome stuff on the 4A channel.